Hi, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Backcast, where I, Adam Upper, talk with Braydon Kenny about Batman, the animated series, and this week's episode is Zatanna. How you doing today, sir?
Mada Targ Niod Me.
Would you just call me?
I'm doing great, Adam, but backwards.
Call me a targ.
I'll targ you.
No, just like in the yeah, that's the way. That's one thing we're not getting in for. Yeah, I'm getting in Voyagers targs because the only like Klingon is Balana, but she's only like half, and then you only get like I think two like Klingon specific episodes in that series where there she finds that stray friggin' piece of metal, and I think there's the other they run to the other Klingons that were like on a long haul mission or whatever, which I think is coming up soon.
Your
And neither of them
commitment to
have targets.
Voyager continues to astound me.
Yeah, no, it's weird. Like not saying it's necessarily bad, but it's weird that that was the one that I picked up and being like my favorite one. Because I still say like as much as I like Next Generation, the first two seasons are fucking rough as hell.
Oh yeah.
So it's hard to get through those two to the better episodes because I was plus still I was like the back in the time when there was like what 24 to 26 episodes a season, and that's a
Woof.
lot of TV to that's a
Yeah.
lot of TV to get through to get to the decent episodes. But it has been a while since I've watched Next Gen though, so I might have to if I can tough it out at some point.
Yeah. But speaking of decent episodes, this is an episode you've been talking about a lot in
Yeah,
our
it's
history.
the Zatanna episode. Yeah, it's the 54th episode produced and the 50th to air, having it air at February 2nd, 1993. Yeah, so it's weird. We're getting like February and September in 93 and
Bit of a
like
jump.
and yeah, if you like this episode, this is probably probably why because it's written by Paul Dini and directed by Dick Sebest and Dan Reba. I hope I was saying their names mostly right, at
Reba
least.
McIntyre did this?
I Reba. Do you ever listen to the Lonely Island other than their like that couple like singles?
You know, I actually listened to their episode of Dear Sister not too long ago and loved it, just like learning the history of it. I want to listen to more because I love Andy Samberg. So yeah, I'd be
Yeah,
down.
yeah, because they have a song that's like I Reba. Yeah, it was about Reba McIntyre.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
I'm
so
definitely
it's pretty.
listening
You
to
should check.
that.
Yeah, check it out. It's pretty funny.
That's good.
I Reba.
Yeah. Did you know about the character of Zatanna before seeing this episode? Because this was my introduction to her.
This would be my introduction to her because I think my uh, only other exposure to Batman before this would have been the two Michael Keaton Batman movies. So
Mhm.
and obviously like just really basic stuff like knowing the Joker and like Two Face and stuff. So I definitely wouldn't have known this was a comic character as other than being just like on the show and stuff. So yeah, so this would have been my first introduction to her as well. Then going back and once you know more about Batman, is that the dad. Is it? I always forget. Is the dad named Zatanna too, or is it something, or is close?
I think his name is Zatara Zatanna, but
So,
like
oh yeah,
he's had no, sorry. Zatara is the last name, but like he's had so many names like in the like different cartoons and in the comics. Like it's been John, it's been Giovanni. Like honestly, like I look at Zatanna like I do like Cher. Like it's just one name. Like it's
okay, because the dad is in like the first appearance of Batman too, I think, or is in that or the Detective 27 or something like that too. So he's
he's one
like
of like
the
the
dad. So
earliest.
he's like yeah. I think if not in the first like appearance like in Detective 27, he's in Batman 1. It's like one of the two. I should have looked this up before, but yeah, it's like because he's like like one of like the oldest character. I think he's as
In comic book
older than the
history.
Joker even. I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. One quick thing I wanted to add before we dive into kind of the story here is for any of you guys who know about Zatanna as a DC Comics superheroine, you know that she's this one of the Homo Magi, I believe is what she's called in terms of like metahuman status. She's got actual magic powers, but she doesn't in this episode, which will be even more confusing when 10 years later you get to Justice League Unlimited and she absolutely has magic powers. So the continuity, I'd be very curious. I don't know. Maybe she's like giving up magic for Lent or something. Like, I don't know. But yeah, because
Okay,
you know
okay,
what?
okay. Yeah, okay. Well, isn't that her whole shtick in the comics? Is that she's like a Vegas a magician, but actually is actually doing it for real, and so just being like
Yeah, something like that.
Penn and Teller, and like doing like obviously doing magic, but not really real magic. And yeah, just looking up, it's like yeah, Zatara is in Action Comics #1.
Number
This,
one?
so he's even older. Zatara is even older than fucking Batman. So
Holy crap.
for an Action Comics #1 that came out in 1938.
Oh my
I,
gosh. Number one.
I knew it was like one of the number ones, but I couldn't remember if it was that. But yeah, it's an action #1.
Well done, Zatanna. Wow. Or Zatara, whatever his
This
name
is
is, the Z guy.
Zatara, Giovanni in quotation marks John Zatara.
Right.
So, so I guess I'd because I don't know how you get John from Giovanni, but
Yeah.
there's been weirder takes on like shortening names and stuff. So who might I say?
I'm going to make my birth certificate disappear. But I think the other reason why they didn't want to introduce magic here, as opposed to say like the episode where they introduced Etrigan in the new Batman animated series, where there's no way you can't have something supernatural or magic related when you're talking a witch boy and a demon, is because it would take away too much agency from Batman because this is his show. So he's got to be able to, prove that he's the ultimate badass here. And also, as you've mentioned in previous episodes, we see his connection to Zatanna, Batman himself, and where he learned to be an escape artist, because he learned under the tutelage of Giovanni Zatara.
So I guess so. I'm going to guess he's probably like the Houdini of that universe. I'm guessing, or close to it, or on the same scale, sort of thing. And yeah,
He's
this
Zaddy
I think
Zatara.
yeah, and I think I might have asked to see this before on air, but you've seen the Prestige, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. The street jacket thing made me and the magic made me think of that. And you know what? Even though it's somewhat depressing, I may have to watch that movie again. It's been a minute since I've seen that last.
Hmm.
But if I then finally got a coworker that I've been telling about this movie for like since I started working there, because one of the episodes of Hudson and Rex that we air, because like it's a Canadian production, and yeah, we use it as our 20% Canadian content on the FXs, is that there's like a magician in town, and yeah, like she dies like doing a trick. And then it finds out, like, spoiler alert, they find out that it's twins. So I kept on mentioning to
Ah,
him when we were on shift together that like so I was like, oh, this is just like the fucking Prestige, and he's like, oh, I've not seen it. I'm like, dude, you need to fucking see this movie because it's
well,
so
you just
fucking
gave
good.
away the plot
Then
twist.
finally right. He kept on forgetting. I didn't say it. It wasn't like this is exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I was just saying this for makes me think of this movie or whatever. So then I finally brought that I remembered that I had the Blu-ray of it, so I finally brought it. I gave loaned it to him like earlier this year at some point, and yeah, he liked it. Yeah. And it
Right
was
on.
funny, like the first time I saw this movie was back in college. Like a buddy of mine was watching it, and I went up to his place after school one day because I couldn't midway through the movie. So he's like, sat down. He's like, you may not have watched this because I'm already through because he knew I
I'm
like
tweaking
movie.
out, man.
Because he already he knows I like movies and stuff. And I was like, no, I'll be fine. And then I was watching it, and it was this scene where yeah, Hugh Jackman's talking to David Bowie about making the device, and you know, he's asking about what the, yeah, if he knows what the cost is, but not like money cost, but like what it's going to cost you. And he's like, oh yeah, it costs us no object, and it was that scene, and I saw the movie from that point onward, and I was so confused. It was like this was on a Friday, and like a Friday and Saturday, I was like, I'm so confused by what I saw because I didn't see the first half of the movie and it didn't give it away. So I was like, I need to fucking find out. So I watched it on this. I rented it and watched it on the Sunday. And I was like, oh, that's a fucking great movie because I was like, I have no idea what the fuck's going on, but I need to find out what's going
Yeah,
on in that movie.
that's pretty much any Chris Nolan movie. I have no idea what's
Yeah.
going on, but it looks really freaking cool. But yeah, this episode starts with Zatanna in Gotham City. She's performing in front of the Gotham Mint, and Bruce Wayne and Alfred are in the audience. And she's pulling some, interesting tricks. Like she's like having a snake come out of a hat. She's getting bubbles flying all over the place, and Bruce is watching her. And so I believe that Zatanna was voiced by Julie Brown, and this is where I'll tap your 90s knowledge. Julie Brown is famous for the voice of Minerva Mink on the Animaniacs. Which one was Minerva Mink?
Minerva Pink. Was that Minerva Pink? Was that the nurse? Maybe.
Maybe.
Let me see.
I thought the
Oh,
nurse was just named Nurse.
it's like looks like a female mouse with like a red
Really?
dress, but yeah, it looks like but I'm just
Okay.
looking her up. But I don't. Probably if I saw her in the episodes, I'd recognize her. But
Oh,
I don't.
that's Minerva Mink. Okay. Yeah, she's like the mouse version of Lola Bunny.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. But yeah, so Zana is displaying her magic tricks in front of the audience, and Alfred's sitting there and being like, "It's been so many years since you've seen her. Like what's it been 10, 12?" He's like, "Longer than that." And so he's having a little flashback moment. Doodle-doo, doodle-doo, doodle-doo. And I think that they might have changed. I don't know if it's just a different style. Like I know it's different coloring for these flashback scenes, but did you notice the animation kind of changed up with the flashbacks?
A
Like
little bit,
it
yeah.
just, yeah, it definitely felt more kind of anime style. Like there's more
Like
kind of like expression in their eyes.
a little bit, yeah. Like 10% more anime,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we have Bruce Wayne learning under I'm just gonna call him John Zatara because whatever, that's apparently the name he wants to go by. Who is Zatanna's father, and he's teaching him how to do the straight jacket under the chains kind of trick. And so Zatara is an interesting character because he's as I was saying, he's very like suave. Like a lot of magicians have that kind of charisma and stage presence, so that's not to be unexpected. But like even when he's well aware that like Bruce is like he's just like 16-year-old kid apparently according to Paul Dini, even though he looks like 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he knows that Zatanna, who is like she kind of looks like Ginger from Gilligan's Island. She's wearing like short shorts and got pigtails.
Yeah.
And like they are absolutely like thirsty for each other. Like she is like groping his muscles and stuff as he's like coming out of the straitjacket, and he's just like, "Good night, children." It's like, why are you so encouraging your daughter to fool around with this dude? Like,
Yeah, the guy you know who is lying to you about his name, so you know it's not
yeah,
he's not doing that. But
yeah. Bruce says his name is John Smith, which is like sus in itself. Like, I'm going to have my daughter hook up with a stranger. Ooh. But yeah, so he's saying like, Bruce, you're a natural. Oh, sorry, not Bruce, John, you're a natural. That's gonna be confusing. John Zatara and John Smith. Like, which John are you talking about, Zatanna? Um, but yeah, she's like, or he's saying to Bruce, he's saying to the guy he doesn't know is Bruce, you're a natural. You're like, you managed to, beat your record with getting out of the straitjacket. You have the potential for being a real, like, great stage magician. And so it's one of those little reminders that I like that no matter what, Bruce has
And
always had a choice with his skills.
he also said that he even managed to get me to tell you stuff I wouldn't tell the other magicians.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
which I think another now that I point out like how like young he was, feels kind of weird that he was just be able to be like, hey, I'll tell this fucking 16-year-old kid like my secrets instead of being like like a guy is his mid 20s where he's like lost and like lost his way, could have pull toward like my dead parents and then was trying to
Yeah.
put my mind into something or that sort of thing, but not just some 16-year-old kid. He's like, oh, you've got a kid. Here are my secrets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way,
And
here's my daughter. Hey, by the way, here's my daughter as well.
yeah, like you might as well just lock them in the trunk like that he had Zatanna like climbing out of while she was spying on him. It's like, I'll just lock the door here. Remember, if you break my daughter's heart, I'll make you disappear. No, seriously, they will never find your body. But yeah, they one of the things that was really interesting is the fact that both Zatara and Zatanna both have like good insight into who John Smith is, not necessarily in the Bruce Wayne sense, but like they can tell he's running from something, like emotionally. They're like, we can see that there's like a deep-seated pain that's driving you. And, like they're trying to, make him feel like he's part of the family. And so that's what I mean is like he's got the skill for like being a great magician. And they're like, like you could be doing something great with your life, like you could be taking these skills and you'll be like a performer. And it's kind of like running away and joining the circus kind of feel to it. So the thing that I find fascinating that it just adds to the tragedy of Batman even more because like he had the chance of being happy, but he chose the mission. Like even when he's flirting with Zatanna and she's like, pick a card, like it'll show your future, kind of like a tarot card kind of style.
Yeah,
And I love the detail here where he pulls the card and it's the
it's a
Joker playing card. Like
yeah,
that's
because
good writing.
yeah, because even she was trying to say it was supposed to be like the two or the eight of hearts or something like that, and and then obviously being the magician, they're supposed to like know what card they're giving out and sort of thing. So, and then she looked, was it just me or did she look surprised when he said it was the Joker card instead?
She did look
Oh
surprised,
my.
yeah.
Yeah, so that just adds to that, even if like it was foreseeing the future correctly with the Joker card,
Ooh.
and that that she that it showed up instead of because she was supposed to be like giving it to him, right? Sort
Well,
of thing.
adding to your point, you said that John taught him like tricks that even like he'd never shown any other magician, probably including his daughter. So did he pick that card on purpose? Like obviously he doesn't know about like his future as the Batman versus Joker, but it's like I could pick the two of hearts, but am I intentionally picking the wild card here? I don't know. Dude, this episode got deep. But yeah, she's like, as John leaves them to, kind of be by themselves. She's
Down
like,
to the wild
like,
one.
yeah, what they're gonna make some magic, all right. And yeah, she's saying like, why do you have to leave tomorrow? He's like, I have to go to Japan. So obviously, like, this is just before he's
Yeah, he goes
gonna
like
meet.
Coyote Cat, yeah.
Yeah, watch
But,
out,
but I
boy.
always,
Okay.
but I always figured he was like older, like in those flashbacks. So
Yeah,
unless
that's the thing.
unless he spent a lot of time in Japan.
Yeah, maybe, but then again, like how long like that would have he was probably like 25 or something in
Yeah,
Japan. So
yeah,
like
yeah. That's why I thought. Yeah, so
did he spend 8 years in Japan? Like, oh my gosh. Like even Christian Bale's Batman didn't spend that amount of time in like the League of Shadows. Like, holy crap.
yeah, because it wasn't only like five at most. I think it was. I want to
A
say
montage is worth.
montage.
Even Rocky had a montage. But yeah, she's like trying to convince him to stay, and he's like, "No, I have to go." He's like, "No, you can't. You're handcuffed to the like the railing." And of course, Key like says like, "What are you doing that for?" She's like, "Now you can't go." turns away, and I believe, okay, in canon, this is the first of his disappearing in the middle of a conversation
Yeah.
moments.
And didn't you just forget that she just watched him just watched her dad teaching him like the disappearing act or whatever?
Yeah, but
Or wait, no, no, that
her
was
eyes were elsewhere, if you know what I mean.
so yeah. So you're just like doing to it like you're just putting a magician in handcuffs. So it's like what do you expect was going to happen?
Yeah, she expected him to choose love. But yeah, so we then return to the present where Zatanna is gonna have her grand finale to her magic act. So if any of you guys have seen the movie Now You See Me, this is like almost exactly the same scenario where you have like a magician debunker played by Montague Kane, or sorry, the character Montague Kane. Did you recognize the voice actor?
No, I was just
Count
I think I was.
Vertigo.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I was too taken it back by the fucking stupid ass name is Montague. Because even one of my names is what kind of name is Montague?
Actually, I just realized something because it's the Count Vertigo voice actor Michael York, who is also famous for being in that old style Romeo and Juliet, Capulets, Montagues. Get it? I'm probably overthinking it. Whatever.
Wait, Michael York is that Basil
Basil
Exposition?
Exposition. Yep. That goes double for
Basil,
you at home too.
Basil, it's it's not mine, I swear.
So yeah, he's essentially like Morgan Freeman's character in the Now You See Me, who's like he he's got this whole shtick where he's like, simple tricks are nonsense. Like that's why they're called magic tricks, asshole. Like like you idiot. Like who cares? You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of those like dorks who go like wrestling isn't real. It's like who freaking cares?
Neither is that movie you saw last night. You know, it's planned out to the end. So what the fuck?
My monocle just fell out of my face. And so she's gonna make all the money of the Gotham Mint disappear. Again, just like Now You See Me. I'm not unconvinced the screenwriters for that movie didn't take this idea for that movie.
And it also made me think of Die Hard 3 just because like the whole like the gold exchange
Oh
heist
yeah.
like yeah like because like the writer slash or I think it was the director that also like either wrote it or co-wrote it. Frank got investigated by the FBI and the Secret Service because that heist could have happened before.
Hmm.
Like he was like, they're like, how the fuck do you know this? Like this, I got all this stuff from like public knowledge like areas, and just being like, hey, like I'd be like, hey, I'm a screenwriter, so this could happen, and then they're like, yes, this very well could happen. We have to change shit now because of this fucking movie.
And now you must die.
so
Remember,
it's
when the CIA does it, it's for Homeland Security. But when anybody else does it, it's terrorism.
So yeah, so even though that movie isn't rooted in magic, but like the heist part made me think of Die Hard 3. It's been a while since I've seen that movie. I think I need to watch it again.
Oh, it's worth a
And I like
rewatch. Yeah.
because I've obviously because of Christmas I watched the first one a couple times like in the last like couple weeks.
If
Or
nothing
something like
else, you
that.
get to hear Samuel L. Jackson go, McLean. Yeah, so we have her like making the money disappear from the Gotham Mint on stage, and she's like, and now of course, the bank manager is also like present on the stage with her, and she's like, now to make sure you don't have like a stroke or something, I'll make the money return. So she waves her magic wand, and the money doesn't come back. So he's like, "Where's the money?" She's like, uh, so
Oh,
like,
Kazam! Poof! And she
yeah,
disappears.
yeah, this would be a good time to like use your magic to literally disappear. uh, yeah, so we have Kane saying like, "Don't worry, I'm sure the audience would love to hear the story of what it really is, as would the police." And okay, for the Gotham police response time, whenever like a supervillain is like throwing chaos into the streets of the city versus like a stage magician has seemingly stolen money. Their response time is impeccable. Like there's like 8 cops rushing the stage. A cop car runs up onto the stage. It's like she's
Well,
she's
well,
a
well,
woman in a tuxedo. Like,
well, if they're shooting at the Gotham Mint, of course, yeah, they're gonna have like extra security there for
oh, good
because
point.
yeah, because there probably could be like people off stage and being like rush it and try to steal or pull a heist or something like that, which
Yeah, they're probably waiting
obviously
for the
did happen,
Joker to
but
show up.
yeah, oh yeah, like or yeah, like the Joker Two Face, or they
Yeah.
make sure like the lump sum of this money doesn't end in a two, so the Two Face doesn't show up.
Oh my gosh. They probably have like consultants that like they bring for all these like big events where they're like, okay, how do we villain proof these scenarios?
Or yeah,
Have you
so it's just
considered canceling the event?
like no, just like just tell us like yeah, like, if we enroach in somebody's shtick, just let us know because we can't keep track of everybody's thing. So just
Yeah.
so if we start getting into somebody's so obviously not a lot of fish, so the penguin won't show up and start eating that.
Yeah, you
No,
can't have too many ice cubes because
yeah,
Freeze will show up.
only one or two ice sculptures at most.
Yeah.
No jokers, no clowns because of the Joker. Yeah, don't end in a
No
two. We'll have
botanical
twins.
garden. Why? You're really painting us into a corner here. I think we're just gonna move.
No one has to be in Gotham. Why? Because
Because a court of owls. What? So we have
they don't know about them yet.
yeah, they're always listening. Um, yeah, so we have Batman, or sorry, Bruce watching the show and realize like Zatanna's in trouble and she's being hauled away into the paddy wagon. And as I pointed out to Adam, there's a brief appearance of Carmen Sandiego watching the paddy wagon take her away.
Where in the world?
Yeah, she's right there. She's just not trying anymore.
Gotham would be a good place to get lost in if you're trying not to get found. Yeah,
Yeah.
because even being Carmen San Diego, you wouldn't stick out there.
Yeah.
You can blend in easily.
So yeah, she's being hauled away. Alfred says like, that's ridiculous. They took her away. She's like, of course, the only suspect, and that means whoever took the money for real is going to probably get away with it. And Bruce is like, not on my watch. I can't, like let her, get framed for this. And he's like, and you can't let go of an old friend, so or something like that. So what I find funny is, of course, he sneaks into Batman mode in the transportation to take her to like the county jail. He breaks in and takes her away. Like, of course, not informing Gordon. I mean, Gordon's not in this episode, but like not informing the police of what's going on. Like, he's not pulling the Batman card. He's just like, and what's funny is when the cop like goes to like open the paddy wagon, he's just like, "What? How'd she
Uh,
disappear?"
yeah, but before we get to that part, did you find like the upper part, like the hinge thing, was way too easy to open from the outside for Batman to get in?
Yeah, that's
You
pretty.
jumped up, he's like yoink, and
You know
then
what? They're
two, and sorry, and then two, like once he got there, like he put the known magician in handcuffs only. It didn't have at least one guard back there, like
that's a
watching her.
very good point.
So of course, like yeah, like if Batman didn't show up, I would have expected that would have been the exact same result.
How did she vanish? She's a magician.
Sorry, I interrupted you. What are you saying?
No, I was gonna say like these paddy wagons. Like I know they always try and like go for the nostalgia kind of vibe with their visuals, but the paddy wagons that they use in Betas look like the sand crawlers that the Jawas use on Tatooine. Is that like they always have like the ramp going down, like it's like this like big cockroach looking thing. Like I don't know. Like I don't think these actually existed. Like but yeah, so Batman breaks her out and
and
like she
now
doesn't
I want to see
but
Jawas running around Gotham.
Houdini. Well, I was gonna go to Tashi Station to pick up some power converters. Actually, Joker would be going to the Tashi station because he's Mark Hamill. You ever see that thing on his Instagram where somebody posted a thing of like a gas station that said Tashi? He's like, see, found it.
Finally
Yeah.
made it. Where are the power converters? And the guy
So
whoever's guy's working, he's like, oh fucking nerds. They're in the back.
every freaking Friday, man.
And every day.
Yep. One other thing I wanted to make note of here is when Batman's like talking to Zatanna into the Batmobile. I think this is probably one of my favorite vocal performances of Kevin Conroy because like we always know him as peak Batman. Like he's like the bar for like Batman performances. But here he's got a lot of flexibility to him. Like he's definitely figured out like how to take like the range of staying in Batman mode and adapt to like certain scenarios, like when to be a little like kind of flirty, to be a little kind of sassy and stuff like that. Like because like as he's like learning about Zatanna and like not letting her know that they've obviously met before, and even she's like, you kind of remind me of somebody. Have we met before? I love the line. He's like, I just have one of those faces.
One
Like,
of those half
uh-huh.
faces.
Yeah.
I
I
know
just
that's
have one of those
that.
jaw lines.
That's why I like in the one thing I did like that they touched on in the ill-fated 2011 Green Lantern movie is after Ryan Reynolds
Yeah.
when Ryan Reynolds first came back to Earth after doing the Green Lantern training or whatever. He shows up to what's her face's house. In the suit and that just has like the domino mask on, and they start talking. And she's like, "Well, wait." Hal or whatever the fuck his character name is. He's like, what? He's like, just do you think you just have a mask that covers your cheekbones? I can't recognize who you are
I've seen you
because
naked.
yeah. Because it's just like the domino mask just covers the eyes and like and that. So like obviously you could know who the fuck that is.
Yeah. I think by the time this episode comes out, it'll be somewhat spoiler free Sonic 3. They made a reference to the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie in that, and I was like, we're really stretching here. Like, I get Deadpool has reason to make reference to that, but like, why are you guys like reference Batman Forever? That makes more sense. At least Jim Carrey was in that. Like,
he
also,
doesn't
I will
sanction.
add,
He
he
doesn't
has reached
sanction his
peak
own buff.
Robotnik.
Yeah, they're both doing like the laser dance.
Oh my gosh! So you have seen it?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think it went, one on the Saturday opening weekend, yeah,
Okay.
with with Carmen San Diego. But now I've forgotten what the Green Lantern reference was though.
I don't remember. It was like over my head in a second. Like, but probably something to do with like the CGI or something. Anyway, yeah, so as he's talking to her, he's like, like is there any safe place that you can be taken to? Like, is there a husband, boyfriend, arm candy, anything like that? And like again, I love that Conroy is able to own it. Like he's able to not like parody himself, you know what I mean? Like in his vocal performance here. Like he knows how to like play it, and it's so good. I love it. And she's like, no, no, like, who's gonna, be strung along with me when I'm like on the tour, like all across the country, like all year round. Besides, somebody had to take up the act after dad died. He's like, I'm sorry. She's like, why are you sorry? You didn't know him. I saw him on stage once. Yeah, that's right. He's like,
That's the ticket.
uh-huh.
Hey, yeah, and this he made me think too. Like, obviously, like when Batman first commissioned this version of the Batmobile, like he probably didn't have like a Robin in mind. So, like, why does it have like passenger seating?
That's a very good point. Maybe Alfred
'Cause,
was joining him
yeah,
on shotgun.
Well, that's the thing though. That, like Alfred, this is an action Alfred really as a whole, other than like the one early episode where he was supposed to go on vacation and he got duped. But like, yeah, this isn't like so like obviously he was never taking like Alfred out on out on the town or for his thing. So we always wondered why this version had like, why this version of the Batmobile had like a passion to
Look, sometimes I
a
like
lot
to
more
put
people
my
are in it.
feet up. Maybe he's like me. Like I always like whenever I'm like driving around, like I'm always putting like things I know I'm gonna need when I get out of the car in like my passenger seat. Like maybe he's putting like his like food for the night, like
Well,
shotgun.
what's the thing is he's not like he has like the back credit card and he's like hitting up the drive through like on the way
Yeah.
home because obviously that car's not making it through like the turns in your regular drive through line
Oh my
without
gosh.
without a fucking turning radius in that car.
He's gonna take out half
Or
the McDonald's in the tailspin.
yeah, it's like why do all these drive throughs one big ass straight line for? Like that's not how these are usually made.
Yeah. I'm sorry, we're not used to RVs coming through here. Like
Because obviously, like, yeah, like we've both probably seen that bad like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen movie. Like we saw, you see how bad that car was able to try and turn because I was
oh yeah.
basically like the English version of the Batmobile, really, with
I
that long
call
ass
it
fucking hood.
an automobile.
Fuck it. That movie had good intentions, but it was so bad.
Again, not that Connery was a person who had his faults, believe me, but
Yeah, that movie
yeah, that
wasn't his
made
fault.
retirement easy for him.
No, I like the fact the reason why he took that movie is because he was offered Gandalf but didn't get it. So
Oh my
he's like
gosh.
he's like I'll go take the next movie that I don't get just so I can be in it. And
You
you know,
shall not pass.
so so maybe sometimes like not knowing it and not getting it probably should work out for you. But like except for when you say no to the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. You probably get more violent with Pippin in that movie. Like what took starts like throwing him down the well
Yeah,
like
he probably smack a took.
smack a took. Is it wrong that we should make that a t-shirt? Smack a took. Why? Why do these ideas come to me in the middle of recording?
Fool of a took.
So yeah, as Batman's talking to Zatanna, he's like, "Well, I've got my theory on who it could have been, and they believe that it was Kane." So they go to the crime scene where Bullock's in this episode, but not voiced. Like he's just literally just standing there, like doing his finest, like looking after the crime scene with his back turned. As Batman and Zatanna are breaking in, and so they're looking at the crime scene and it's like, how do you make the money disappear? And I'm not gonna get in the science behind it. Holograms and mirrors, that's all you need to know. And that sort of thing is like, I really wish they used Mirror Master in this episode. Because if you're not gonna do the whole magic thing, put some sci-fi in there, man. Like you've already used Count Vertigo. Like you're obviously referencing like a bit of a bigger DC universe here without going the whole like Justice League length. But like do Mirror Master in here. Like why are you always like making up these like villains that like are gonna be forgotten about by the end of the episode?
Well, like Mirror Master isn't a Batman is like more of a Flash villain, no more, isn't he?
He is,
Rogue.
but then
But
again, so
obviously not. I'm good, but obviously like he's not like specific Rogue. But yeah, like I try. But
yeah,
of course, though, Count Vertigo was also a Green Arrow
yeah.
villain first, so too. So, but
I'm just trying to call them out on their own logic. That's all.
so what was it which animated was it that they I think it was like the Tower of Babel or whatever
Mhm.
movie that they I think it was like Mirror Master that was the one that stole all the contingency plans from Batman's computer because he was like going back in the Batmobile and he thought he saw him in
Yeah,
like the rearview mirror or something like that and he's like what and then just left and he comes out and takes it back to Vandal Savage I think
yeah.
am I remembering correctly is that
Oh
that
no,
sounds familiar.
that's exactly how it plays out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was hidden in the reflection of
Yeah.
the freshly waxed Batmobile.
Yeah.
Damn
So
it,
yeah.
Alfred,
So
why do you clean this?
I remember enjoying that movie, so I'm gonna have to check it out again. I think it's been a while since I've seen it.
I posed the question to Adam listeners, what's Batman's contingency plans against Zatanna, considering she has actual magic?
Wasn't it like similar to like what Scarlet Witch did to Black Bolt, and it like somehow make her not be able to talk, but probably not obviously like doing a Matrix and shutting her mouth, but so yeah, somehow like I think
Oh,
that
so
would
what's like that thing they put on Loki at the end of Avengers?
or something,
Yeah.
yeah.
Stand there and look pretty. I don't feel comfortable with this, Bruce. My name is John Smith. No, it's not. So yeah, they realize like, Kane is the guy who's responsible for this. So now that they figured out the magic trick, they're on his way to his house. And when they're there, they hear Kane on a PA system. He's like, I wasn't expecting guests, but I suppose I should prepare to welcome you properly. And they have this scene of him like, facing the fireplace, and like his like he's kind of like got the Dr. Claw thing where you can just like the arms in the chair, and he's like, you thought you could get away with it, but you're not going to. So Zatanna spins him around, and of course it's a dummy reading a newspaper. And that's where they fall into a trap right underneath their feet.
Oh yeah,
And
Batman realizes the trap and they go and run away, and then like under
yeah, he figured it
the
out just
rug.
before they fell.
Yeah. So like as they're running back to the door is when they fall through the trap door and go into the room with the moving walls and the spikes.
Yeah.
How would you like able to like build that into your house? So like you need like two like hydraulic jacks like on each side, and then like source the spikes.
I think so. Yeah, you're definitely going to the Home Depot for a lot of supplies.
Like what are you doing? Like home security.
Yeah. What? Have you seen where I live? Gotham City. Yeah, I guess
I
I can
live down the road
understand.
from Ace Chemicals. Of course I need this.
Yeah. Yeah, so they fall into what is essentially like this Indiana Jones style trap. These like, you know, contracting like walls with spikes on top of them. It's kind of like the trash compactor in Star Wars, but with spikes. So it's actually worse. And okay, so Batman like is like, like I'll figure out how to get us out of this. Batman's got acid in his belt. Like he's literally got like a beaker of acid. Like I hope that thing is like heavily protected because otherwise he's gonna melt his balls off.
Well, it's probably like similar to like whatever asset they're using in Breaking Bad in the first episode, in the first season. Like like
Oh yeah.
acid probably like will eat through certain things, but for some reason won't eat through a certain thing. So he probably has like the whatever tube that is that is that substance is the one thing that it weirdly won't go through whatever. Yeah.
Real
So I guess
acid?
these goggles do nothing. Oh man, I remember I freaking miss Oil and not having The Simpsons anymore because that was definitely one of the episodes that they aired. So I miss being able to watch The Simpsons at work like throughout throughout my shift.
I think we have mentioned The Simpsons on every single episode of this show, and I have no intention of stopping. Why? Because that's what comedy looks like. So
I said the words Jim the Joker so many times the words have lost all meaning.
I love that part. Oh man. Yeah, so yeah, they're trying to get out of it. He like pours the acid onto the spike, and what does he do? He like pulls the spike free, lodges it underneath
Yeah,
the wall. So
it gets two out. Yeah, it puts one in
that's
to
it.
stop it puts one
Yeah.
to stop the wall, and then he climbs up the spikes, and then uses the other one to try and jimmy the trap door. And then as he's doing that, it's showing that the one at the bottom is coming loose and comes loose, and they just fucking barely make it out, and it just kind of crushes like the trap door, and he's like, oh, like he looks like he got out, but not in time because this is giving me enough time to fly away with my money. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah. And Batman sort of says that's where you made your mistake, is that you said fly away. So, okay, you were saying like where this guy had money for this like elaborate booby trap. Kane has this gigantic wing
Like
ship, like
like Howard Hughes plane.
yeah, or like if you guys have seen like the new Godzilla movies, like the Monarch flying HQ, like the thing that is not a helicarrier but might as well be a helicarrier, like and yeah, so like he's like sitting there, like in the like the bar of his like ship as he's like flying away. It's like, well, at least we're going to a more warmer climate where I can't be extradited for my crimes, which I shouldn't be talking about aloud, especially considering I'm still in Gotham City, but whatever, I'm still gonna get away with it. And that's when Batman and Zatanna show up. It's a small detail, but it makes me laugh. Is like he's sitting in this like dinner chair as he's like, toasting to success. And as he realizes Batman and Zatanna are behind him, he picks up the chair and turns around while he's still sitting in it. Like, like when you're like a Bond villain and you are supposed to like have the swivel chair, but obviously he's making do with what he has. Like it's a very small detail, but it just makes me laugh. He didn't have to be sitting down for that, but the animators decided to, whatever. I'm probably overthinking it, but it's just funny to me. It just looks like a buffoon. So he's like, well, I have my goons here to, make sure that you don't get away. So six the goons on them, and yeah, I love like he grabs Zatanna as Batman's fighting the goons and like holds her hostage with his like cane has a cane with a sword tip. It's the cane from Citizen Kane, and he's like, like if you do anything, Batman, I'll nick her throat or something. And he's like, oh, it's a shame, my dear. You and I, we could have been magical together. And she's like stabs her heel on his foot. I love Michael York's groaning performance. He's like, "Ow." Like he's just hamming it up in the vocal booth. Oh my gosh, it is funny. And yeah, so he still manages to, like chain them up and take them to like I guess the like the drop part of the wing ship, and he's basically gonna like throw them out, and he's like, to the no disrespect to the departed, but even the great Zatara couldn't have escaped those chains. And so he's about to toss him out, and Batman says like he whispers to Zatanna like, take my hand, like I'll just trust me. And she's like, are you scared too? Me, that makes two of us. He's like, trust me, Zana. Oh, we didn't mention in the flashback he called her Zana, and she's like,
Yeah,
you're the only one who calls me that.
and she's like, and I hate it, so so I don't like it. So
Yeah.
or something to that effect. I think she said that
So did
she
Batman
didn't
just
like it.
did did young Bruce just neg Zatanna? Like, is that how he got like is that how he got a date with her? Like kind of explaining a lot of his love life. So she's when she hears him in the present say Zana, he's like, "What did you call me?" And so like he's like handing her these like sneakily these lockpicks that he has hidden in his glove because he's Batman. Of course, he has lockpicks, and so well, I don't know what they call that stuff on airplanes, like like in those like military planes, like that webbing net that they use for like hauling cargo around. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
Like the
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
that they use.
Cargo netting, I guess.
Cargo netting.
But
Yeah, let's use
yeah,
that. But yeah, so as they're being tossed out of the plane, Batman grabs onto the netting and he kind of pulls like a Uncharted. I'm pretty sure that's the video game where they do that, right? Where like
yeah,
Nathan
yeah,
Drake is like hanging out of
yeah,
the aircraft carrier.
yeah. The whole thing is trying to climb it back up as it's flying or whatever.
Yeah.
I think they did that scene did that scene in the movie too. I think I want to
Yeah, they did. Trust me, I was stupid enough to watch it.
say. I think I may have
Tom Holland, I'm willing to support your career, but man, do you make it a chore sometimes. Hey, I'm Sully. Sully, I'm with the Funky Bunch. You put Mark Wahlberg in an Uncharted movie and didn't make him Nathan Drake. You suck, Sony. For shame. So as he's caught up in the cargo netting, Montague's at the top and he's like, impossible, and whatever is like he just put his foot in the webbing, like it's not that out of the realm of possibility. And he's
Batman's
trying
done
to,
Stranger Things.
yeah, like it's Batman too. Like, what do you friggin' expect? You're in his neighborhood, pal. Like you're on his turf, even in the air. And he's like cutting through the netting with his sword cane, and Batman whips up a chain that he's managed to loosen, lassos it around his cane, and pulls it like all to basically fall out of the plane behind them. Like Batman's gonna be counting on like Montague having a really solid grip on that cane, man, because like that very easily could have led to him dying.
Well, if you're swinging a sword like outside of the back of a plane, yeah, and like you probably gonna have a pretty good grip on it just to make sure it
Yeah.
doesn't get flown away, so you can actually try and use it. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, so I feel track that you probably try and use that to your advantage. Yeah.
Yeah. So as they're having this little fight, like the goons are trying to get rid of them. Um I forget the exact details, but like basically they all end up, well, the thugs and Montague end up back inside the plane. Batman and Zatanna end up on the wing of the plane. And one thing, like I do admire the animation in this episode, but I felt like it was kind of underplayed, the fact that these guys are on top of a wing plane and yet there's no wind to like go like through their capes or like their hair or stuff like that. Like it's very, and even like when Batman is like, because like, Montague is trying to like steer them off the plane, like basically trying to like knock them off, like that gremlin thing in like the Twilight Zone from that Shatner episode. And he manages to like, those things like they use on wings, like those like elevator like levers. Batman manages to like push on it. Like that thing is gotta be like, I know it's made of
They
aluminum.
it's yeah, it's like the flaps for the
The
plane to go
flaps,
like
yeah.
yeah. And I was thinking I would know for that too. Like, hey, you shouldn't be able to like overpower the hydraulics of a plane because
Yeah.
obviously
I didn't
like
even think of the hydraulics. Yeah.
like the wind shear of like like when your plane's like flying at speed and altitude, like it's gonna be stronger than what Batman is. So yeah, so like the hydraulics are he's like she's taking some vein venom or whatever.
It's the same strength he used to pry open the crocodile's jaws in the Underdwellers episode. Yeah, so he is somehow managing to. I remind you, this wing ship is easily like the size of like the width of an airplane hangar. Like, and he manages to somehow steer this thing into the right direction because he's Batman. Whatever. And yeah, so they managed to get inside. Zatanna gets to fight Kane and like lands a good punch in his face. And I think that's more or less how the fight kind of ends, right? Because like the next scene is him being hauled away in the Jawa trawler.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think after I just think at one point that like the hubris on them, like he was able to Batman was able to figure out and do all this stuff, and he's doing all this stuff, and he's like, "You two random goons, get him!" Like he's just it's like yeah, he's like yeah, like I hit my two random nameless goons are gonna be able to take down Batman. So thought like at one point during the fight, it made me laugh when he did that.
Maybe they heard about Sid the Squid's rep and they're like, see,
It's like we
anybody
can
can try.
yeah, yeah.
When is it my time to kill Batman? go full
I could be.
Goonies speech. Yeah, so Kane's being taken away by the police, and yeah, they're Zatanna and Batman are talking at the airstrip, and I like this because like it's got that kind of Casablanca feel to it of like two people who could have been together, you know, like saying goodbye, at least like for now, because they do meet up again in the Justice League, but it's kind of like that what could have been kind of moment. Like it's really nice, and like that's the thing. Like I think like both Bruce Timm and Paul Dini, they have such a love for the classics that they know how to subtly weave those kinds of like stories into this show, and it's really well done, and it doesn't feel cheesy. It feels like appropriate for the setting. And yeah, she's like I think she clues in. Doesn't she more or less explain to
No,
him?
no, I think she says that she knows it's Bruce or whatever. Yeah.
Well, she at least knows it's John Smith, but yeah,
Well, yeah, but
eventually she will know it's Bruce Wayne.
yeah,
Like,
but or fair. Well, yeah, because I think at that point, yeah, I could probably figure that out. Yeah, because she says that because she says like, but it looks like wherever you're driven by, you found or
that's what it was.
or whatever the wording was of that. Yeah, to that effect. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
think
She
that
basically
because that was
says,
pretty like that touching on like because I think that's like continuing like what her dad said like
hmm
like before he left the room or whatever sort of thing like
yeah,
because I think he said something to that effect too that he knows he's going for something or something like that or whatever the wording was. Yeah.
yeah. And so Batman's like, basically saying like, you know, I guess we could have been something, but we'll never know. And then we have a interesting, so that's what that feels like moment where he turns around and Zatanna's gone and she leaves him like an autographed thing saying like,
Yeah, doesn't she like disappear in like a pink
yeah,
thing of smoke or whatever? Like thunk.
I
I
do
think
what you do, Batman, but better. I put
I,
pizzazz.
I go with some pink smoke bombs. Yeah, I'd fuck with it.
So yeah, that's how the episode ends. And yeah, no, it was really good.
So what'd you give this episode out of five Penn and Tellers?
Well, I'm not gonna give it an
Trapdoor.
FU. um,
Bullshit.
oh, I forgot they did that too. Yeah. Um, I am gonna give it. I am gonna give it. This is one of my favorite ones, so I might have liked it more than you. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 because there's a lot of like visual creativity here. The story is like actually really nicely packed together, and there's some really nice foreshadowing into it. Some of which we didn't even get to in this recap, but it's really nicely played out. And yeah, they knew how to introduce Zatanna into it. I kind of would have. This is just a fanboy in me. I would have liked to see her like have hints at having actual magic, but maybe that's what the stage performance kind of was in the beginning act. But
I
no,
think it's more so with the show itself because other than like really like Clayface, they don't really deal with like something that's not like super. I hate saying this, but kind of more grounded than like they only really use like nobody has like really crazy powers yet really.
mhm,
Other than Clay, I'd say Clayface is the only one that kind of does.
yeah,
So maybe if they had leaned into that a bit more, like dealt with a bit more with people with powers, they might have done like if she showed up again, being like surprised it actually is magic or whatever, and like even like that was the one thing my dad didn't tell you, sort of thing or whatever. Yeah.
yeah. How
But I
about
think
you?
I give it probably like a. Yeah, I think I give that 3.5. Yeah, because it was a nice little episode and throwbacks to like his earlier days of training and stuff. But I thought it was a little weird that like they were as young as they were in this flashback. Because I would
Mhm.
have figured like or like what said like early 20s instead of being like 16 as as looking into it says. But yeah, it's 3.5. I think yeah. All right, folks, that is the episode for this week. Thanks for joining us in the Batcave to talk about Batman, the animated series. Next week's episode will be The Mechanic. So I think if this is the episode, I think it is. Yeah, I think they deal with, yeah, like that guy you're like makes the Batmobile or something like that for him. I think so. I think it's I think this one it's not Lucius in this version. I don't think. So you can follow us on Twitter/X at Beyond Backcast, on Instagram at Beyond the Backcast. We are on YouTube now at youtube.com/ at Beyond the Backcast. Check us out there. Give us a rating, review, and subscribe there. Help us out. And you can do that also like wherever you're finding your podcast, wherever you're finding this. It'll also help us out. And where can we find you on the internet, Braden?
You can find me on Instagram at Alfred is Zaddy.
Ooh,
And you can
Zaddy.
also find our link tree on Beyond the Backcast. It leads to a bunch of our other social media, including our Discord. We aptly call it the Bat Cave, where we have lots of Batman fans like ourselves talking about stuff. We're going to be talking about the upcoming DC universe, which, if you guys don't know, has already introduced Clayface. So clearly they are hinting at some bigger Batman related mythos into the upcoming movies.
Yes, and you can follow me on Instagram at StunkChumpkin. That was my personal page there. And as I said, thanks for joining us at the Batcave to talk about Batman the Animated Series at Beyond the Backcast. Goodbye, good chums. Kapow.